Page 3. To the Founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata and knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the Founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the Founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color light gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, a field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the one gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout, homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects. With supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 15, the Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagavan was dwelling on massive Vulture's Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharadvatiputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken, unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment, in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata gate gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhi soha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well, said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, Venerable Sharad Bhattiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Short mandala offering. Saji poki chukshuk me tag tram ri rabling jini de yampadi sange jing du make de wo wargi joka nandak jing la jo par shuk jetsun la madam pakinam ki choku kala ken se ching trigne jitar sampe duche sin mala sabki choki char pabab tu so Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kaniyatayami. Chodang Soki Chognam La Jangchu Bardu Tadni Kyapsuchi Taki Chunyanki Pesonanki Chola Panchir Sange Drupal Shok. Chodang Soki Chognam La Jangchu Bardu Tadni Kyapsuchi Taki Chunyanki Pesonanki Chola Panchir Sange Drupal Shok. Chodang Soki Choknam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Taki Chunyanki Pesonamki Chola Panchir Sange Drupal Shok.
Kange de zenye zawe, dawa danje bawa yin, de meje ne den zewe, kodam de la cha de la. Tonye yin je san de je ve la, ji je de ze gon je den de gon, jana me ma den de jan la, so de so shin de lun do shi. Panden za la ma ram ba je, da ge je ro be me de jan, ko de je me gon ne je san de. Ku san de je gon do ze de so. Ai da, Gulong gom de stap shos.
So we'll start with a motivation meditation.
다 가와 곰라 알아서 하드링데 줄라메 타릭 줄라마 얘랑 터버치 중화디 겨상부레스 참지 가와 곰스
Mm. So now rejoice. We have this wonderful opportunity to be able to hear teachings on this sublime continuum text. So feel very joyful about that.
다 먼저 기신 남샤 주나네 뭐치 규체 되고 다 규디 간간잠지 시에서다 디나라 데스키자 망부라지 리그다 규디나
Mm.
다 담봉어서 디 마게제 시에운디 삼로로 워당올라나 아니 미직다 산제설 두고 있나 아니 규카레 람카레 데부카레 어디 삼나다네 기자디 디나라 시기요 삼당이나니 지 산제기 살아드웨 아니 실람데송 남샤 코아송나 삼르나나 바자샤야다 딘데라 펜도 연구라
So today we're talking about these 10 presentations, and we've gone over the first two, which is the essence and the cause. But just to clarify a little bit, talking about the cause a little more, we're going to have a look at how one person would attain Buddhahood in terms of the cause, the path, and the result. Or the basis, the path, and the result of the means of how to get one liberated or free from samsara.
다 니네라야 어디서 디시시 닝보 산제기 디레 가서 그래 아니 산제기 릭소라다 이르들 라지네리다 겐주리 데제니 두고여와 데르와다 안디네다 나조 산제기 릭디 세마도 버시제 산제기 릭디 야 세마도 버시 루부 팀에 디버드 가레 라비온데 엔델야 딥제기 팀마 산제기 살라 도마도가 될라야 파제도 딥제기 파제도 어디 아니 시 디바나바 시샤고 레스로 딥제 시기 네 산제기 살라 티젠 남나 슈 마도가 차고요 레스
So, first of all, when we talk about, previously we talked about the essence, which can be said to be this Buddha in nature, or sometimes it's said to be like this Buddha lineage. Now, just a point from last week, when we talk about lineage and the meaning, Geshe-la said it was Yewa in Tibetan, and I said that was like division. But having thought about it, it would be more like type. Would be a more literal way. You know, you have 5 divisions of something, or you have 5 types of something. So it can be translated either way. So you'd be saying like this lineage means type, like Buddha type would be closer to the meaning. But anyway, so we have these 2 lineages or 2 types. We have the natural lineage and the developmental lineage, as we went over. This is all in the chart if you wanted to have a look. So when we talk about this Buddha nature or this Buddha lineage, we can say that when we're trying to awaken that, then we can have obstacles which prevent us from being able to do that. And looking at it as it's presented in this text, there's 4 obstacles presented here. that this is page 97 of the commentary.
이 자와들이 출라 콘도 다다 당 코베 동의 직바당 심진 된라 때문에 되제 무디년도 랑중남지 딤남시 자와들이로
So when we look at this root verse, verse 1.32 A, B, C, D, on page 97, it says, these four are animosity towards the Dharma, view of self, fear of the suffering of samsara, and a lack of concern for the welfare of sentient beings are the four obscurations.
다 당고디 갈라위는 콘도로와 콘도세 태버침에 취려야다 콘도 땅와도 태버침에 취려 구르다 태버침에 취디 취 말해서라야고다 근데 용거도 왔다 두저라나 아니 티징 산제이 살아도야 다른 로고로다 산산 태버침에 취 말해라나 아니 취려로 좀 지금 말 고음 야그 말을 태버 지금 말을 드리면은 산제이 그 야세 용거 말로 하지다 디 발제 지슈직래로
So the first of these, animosity towards the Mahayana Dharma, specifically in this case. Now this can be things like saying that the Mahayana Dharma is not the Dharma, it's not the teaching of the Buddha, right? This type of thinking, this kind of what's referred to as animosity in this case towards the Mahayana Dharma. Let's move this, it seems to be making noise. Animosity towards the Mahayana Dharma is something that actually puts you further away from Buddhahood. It's not something that helps to awaken your nature or get you closer. It puts you further away from Buddhahood. So this is the first of the four obscurations.
다 코베 동의지 코 쇼로 콘도 따와다 코베 지금 심지는 다 디네 데르와 찍디 다 산제게 다그 따와 되제와 코와 다그 따와 무딕진라서 보데다 베나 다디 태고 준비 출로 콘도 산이 다지 코와 진행될라다 년도 룹다 가서래 치료받은 남번인가 유언스티로 항바도 무딕바도 저이나 아니 라니 지부 그체도 코베 동행 진행네 셈제 더르도 바로 수수 돈다 돈라야 아니 셈제 더야 수수 디두고 돈다라서 이제 다그도 다와도야 텐데를 때네네 다지 남바산 태바 준비 최도 파샤제 남바산 집에 최고랑 최한다고 말해서 구하다야 된대 연구여 봤다 저다 저 디레다 수수기 되바델라다 되자로 시당 되베 온 그러고 싶지 아
So the next one, which is this view of self. So this can be construed as working like seeking one's own welfare. Now this is a view that can be shared by the non-Buddhist schools or some of the Hinayana Buddhist schools, where you have this seeking one's own welfare. So you're thinking about your own self more, your own happiness. So when you have this kind of view, then it's not pure Mahayana Dharma. It's not pure like Mahayana Buddhism. So, and this is due to this attachment or desire, you could say.
에다 디직체 콘로체 되자체 아니 다 당지다 용어로 디무로 되자다 당지다 응엘라 두세셔네 야고다 당지직체 콘로체 나도 다와디체 아니 코베 요거에 심지 된라 때문에 나제 직샤나 리그스를 베지 나제로 동이야 지 동이라 롬네 동이 된 하모고나 하코였어
Okay.
디딩사인데 망고다 야하고 예스 동안 알라고 메스네 딜람나네 전당원에 셔야돼 까르고도 그러와 동이 전 하모고나 동이의 신기였어 아니 산제기 람촌에 하모고나 람신기요 알람 곰데 유스 전이데 용구도 하딩산데 어다도저네 나제로다 나제 콩도 딱다 베진 되자 아니 나제 베진디 시샤고 있으래다 디바시디 베진 두샤고 있으래
So Kondro Naga
딱다와
Takitawa Kondro Naga Takawa Ani Shipa? Karu.
되자샤고 서
Attachment.
되친스라고.
Okay. So this attachment can then lead on to other emotional states like anger and lead to a strong sense of self-grasping and pride and so forth. So we look at it in terms of four major things that are the obstacles. So we can say it's attachment, self-grasping, anger, and pride. And this pride is a problem because it means that people who might say, without real deep understanding, they might not have a clear understanding of emptiness, for example, and say they understand emptiness. You don't need to teach me about this. I already know about emptiness. This kind of thinking can arise. So this is one thing where people don't understand emptiness yet think they understand. You can have the same with the path, right? If you think, oh, I fully understand the path, nobody needs to teach it to me, I don't need to study, things like this. And then this can come to many mistaken views based on these emotions, pride, and all of these other emotions, attachment, self-grasping, pride, and anger. So these four.
자던데 되자디 세우시라면도 디들 랑진지디 겸나 야고스레. 되자디 자베나라 세우시라면 랑진지. 랑진지디 니 태고 준비 출라 다 파제치야디 도슈차가 여러.
So within attachment, it's maybe not quite as clear as if we were to say self-cherishing in this case, right? Self-cherishing becomes the basis for this obstacle to the Mahayana Dharma.
디는 자외나라 세우면 당에디 땡지 강산들 삼다라. 디르다 베나 두스레. 강산 당지디 다 시바고 코발라와 시바 시다 시발라 풍마치고라 강산 단지 온게 시발라 코발라
닥친전 or 닥친?
당지디.
Oh, okay.
당지디다 용다 무디고 젠도 코발요. 다디네 에네 랑진지도 랑진지디게 에네 시달로 통화지거로 와티 년도다 랑게도 저 용거로 와체자 아니 ngaje 니가라 용거다 ngaje 대왕아 동만이 된 신기면은 신기유스 라비나 다디도 휴식 차되고 여러 아니 공로다 이인바를 공로 와 대과심에 출래야 아니 공로 체제로 인들이야 구르와 답이야로 든지 제비나 아니 대과심에 출 다른 정도로 어두스 다디 간산 지바시샤디 땡지 간산이고네 겨버쳐버려 해서 간산이고네.
So if we look at it in terms of this, we could say that it becomes clearer in terms of self-cherishing rather than desire, because we can say that self-grasping is what makes one abide in the extreme of existence, or basically within samsara. Self-cherishing is what leads one to abide in the extreme of peace or individual liberation. So these two, if you have self-grasping, you're caught in the extreme of existence. If you have self-cherishing, you cannot get out of the extreme of peace. Pride affects both, right? And also anger binds you in both. Because, for example, if you have anger towards the Mahayana teachings, this puts you further and further away from Buddhahood. So all of these are based on a being or a person. So having these views or these obstacles, as they're called here.
제가 태고 준비 최 동반이당 chanjuge 셈당 딘델라야 뭐가 매버치 아니 카다니에도 아니 좀 된데 이딩에게 로마 마레스 마천한지 로베 마레스 어딘데 송도로 태고 준비 최 동반이 요 마레스 태고 준비 최라 카당 주부 최디 최 마레스 랍진이도줄라 아니 동반 좀 된데 nga 저랑서 내가 저랑서 로마 마레스 nga 저랑서 로베 마레스 랍사디 아 건설에 최시에는 펜토고 말아 카당 요로 거로 전대가요 말아 최디 뇌릉 차게 매번 인상 최시에는 펜토요 말아 단도 티버 좀 최시에는 구버다 랭이 뭐 망부사게 인상 내가 저랑에 기둥 말에 nga 저랑게 이게 말했어 네 좀 된데 롱내나 된데 송도라
So there's on page 98, near the bottom, there's one verse where Buddha says that those who don't have faith in the Mahayana view of emptiness or bodhicitta, don't have devotion towards these, they're not my students. I'm not their teacher, right? Because he understood that there would be no benefit in teaching these types of people the true path of the Mahayana path, because they would not have the karma or the capacity to be able to connect with this, and would not be of benefit to them. So, but he's clearly said those that don't see the Mahayana as the teachings of the Buddha, they're not my students, and I'm not their teacher. So it made it clear that this is, he didn't hold these beings to be his true disciples.
다디 간상성으로 디 디버 줄레드메 간상들 무딕 버체르와 무딕 버도 다도 따고 요르와 다도 따고 요르와 다 따고 요르와 다디 다제 네다 산제 쉐디 쉐 마레스라고 요르와 다디나라 야지 산제게 추 켈렘베이나야 아니 지고 시디 되니게 로 대된조게 년도당 랑산제도 저체 니차성아 아니 디메나 양 낭바 산제와 년도 남바 산제베 리 년도는 냐면지 나제 체제로 태고심에 출을 쉬고 있나요? 아니 신기유에서 나제 체대비나 아니 네야 태고심에 출을 뒤버치기도 제가 간사 대전 시고 안치네 뒤버시셰레스와 시 뒤버시셰데 뒤버시셰베 남샤로데 간사고 안치네와 간사 수수게 대전로 체제는 예와디 뒤버 넘버 시샤데 두샤레스다
So, niento di chig.
년도 랑제 니차송아 아니 이무디과 직차송아 아니 양 태버심에 추 이나 양 아제 제된 얘기
Alright, that's
직차송아 아니 다시 두스도송아데
so Tongpo di docha kimbe.
늦어서는 랑진지
Ranchinji, lasso. Okay.
다 간상 원시로
Right. So when we then take a look at these four types of people, that the first that have these obscurations or these obstacles. So the first is those who have strong self-cherishing, right? It's number one here is those with great desire, but as we clarified, self-cherishing is a more clear way to understand it. Then the second one are the Tirtikas, which is basically those who have differing philosophical views who hold to a self, like a permanent or independent, or some sort of self, wrong view to self, like that. So these are the second type of beings who can have these obstacles. The third is the hero. It says here heroes, but it includes the solitary realizers as well. So these are these beings who say that they're interested in their own individual liberation. And then the fourth one is the type of person who has a lot of pride. So they may be pride in terms of thinking they understand, or pride in terms of saying that the Mahayana teachings are not the teachings of the Buddha. These type of things also create great obstacles. So these are the four types of beings: those with strong self-cherishing, those with views of the self, heroes and solitary realizers, and those with pride.
다디 디버시디 다디송 디버시디 세부차송다 콘로체 단지체 란진지체 마제체 시디체 되자마지다
okay, listen.
콘로체 당지체 란진지체 마제체 디시디
So the cause for these four types of beings is this either anger, self-grasping, self-cherishing, or pride. So this becomes the basis for these four obscurations.
다디네 먼저 줄라 리요레스로 심제 탐제 줄라 리요레스 아니 먼저 릭디아 세마도 베체 먼저 람나 슈마도 베체 코알라 네야디 아니 가르레 라윈데 다 단다 디마다 제르도안 먼저 친질로 시로 양자 친질로 시 아니 군조블라 친질로 시다 튼담로 친질로 시왕게 네 먼저 코알라 네 두스네 데게 요레스타 군조블라 친질로 시고 되게 레다 코와 당만 내되고 루실람나 디르다.
So we talked about having this Buddha lineage, or put it tight. However, we're not able to awaken that. And because of that, we cycle in samsara. So this inability to awaken our lineage or our nature is based on having 4 wrong views. And then there's the conventional 4 wrong views and ultimate 4 wrong views. This causes us to then abide or to cycle within samsara.
다들 뒤준들에 가서 코알라 내야디 코알라 주베론데 주군중단 저부도 된스체로 아니 코알라 도베리모는 전에 줄람된 테레테베 태와 꼭 된스제 디자인 두스신이다 코알라 주베림바단 코알라 도베림바스제 디셰고요로 다 코알라 주베림바디 단당한서 지녀모 먼저 삼다 까지 되자제야 콘도제야 나제제야 다 두두 상마 가르는 거라서나 아니 동해 된바르바 먼저 풍부 사제년이 풍부 아니 동해 된바레스 델야 친질로 군술 친질로 시당 전됨 친질로 시 디왕게 아니 먼저 리기아 세마도시 아니 코발라다 네디 코디기 요레스다
So when we talk about this samsara, we can talk about it in terms of the Four Noble Truths. So we can trade the truth of suffering, the truth of origin is the basis or the means that samsara is generated, created. And then the truth of the path and the truth of liberation, the truth of cessation or liberation, is the means by which one liberates from samsara or goes beyond samsara. So we can say that the basis for this samsara or developing this samsara is delusions such as attachment, aversion, pride. And because of this, so because of this, we have, or based on this, we also have these 4 wrong views, or 4 wrong views to the conventional truth and 4 wrong views to the ultimate truth. So because of this, we constantly cycle within samsara.
다탐보 군접라 친질로 시 록저 심발라 동에 된 사제년에 네 풍부디 란신 가리 이미디 생고레스로 이시발라 아니 동에 된 바들 체주 시샤와 미다 동에 동 다메 시제 시샤게 요레스로 어디 그런 건저 풍디 체주 먼저 ngēla tāmbu ele ngā māshā wachē ngā phūngbō dīla samdāna sūg phūngbō dīla samdāna lēl hawa yo rwa sūg phūngbō dī kyawa dūjī ki dōngē dēmbē cīnshī re rwa dīla chēchū shī yo re chēchū shī tākambu re midā dōngē dōngā dāme chēchū shī dī ngā sū phūngbō dīla phūngbō rāngshī dī dīndē re midā go re kēchī ki gyuwa dōgu dōwa hare 제주 당보디 미다고래 줌생 가르스나 코 게지 주어도 요다 미다고래스 아니 동해버레스 동해외에 줌생 가르스나 레다 뇨몽이 총화 인자 동해버레스 영화레스 말한도 동해 영야디 풍부디 나랑저다 미 망고지기 아가 동해 메스 대와 코베 내갑들라 등이 배징연데 지 교시한다 망고차로 동해버디 제일 나고 미다고도 교시하나
So we have these wrong views when we talk about conventional truth, and as an aspect of that, we can use the aggregates as a representation, right? So we have these contaminated, appropriated aggregates, and we have certain views to them. But if we look at the nature of them, they're actually impermanent, suffering, selfless, and impure or unclean. So these are the 4 aspects of our aggregates, right? So when we look and we understand them, so we can look at the impermanent nature of the aggregate. This means that it's changing moment to moment. Our aggregates change moment to moment. And then the next aspect is their suffering. So why are they said to be suffering? Because they generated through karma and delusion, and this makes them in the nature of suffering. So we don't actually recognize this. Like, you can definitely see people who say, oh, no, I'm not suffering, everything's fine, I'm happy. It's because of this lack of understanding that they say that.
다 디로도 다 미다보든 것도 실례라고도 실례로서는다 파주 깨지셔는 알헬라버려 봐 이내야 수수 곰 잡지 아니 더 릴레이션 쇼로 심나라 이게야 가고 열다야 지징다 칙다 레라버려 미다와 깨지 레라고도 다 수수 상다지 오네가 게 수부디 미다고 레베 하고 수수 이지지 레트베디 삼노당다 곰 잡으러
So, when we say, for example, aggregates are impermanent, this is not that hard to say, and it's not that hard to understand, like on a simple, like intellectual level, but to actually really know that, to understand it deeper or have an experience of that, now that's not quite a different thing. So it's very easy to say, oh yeah, my aggregates are impermanent, but to actually have that experience or have that recognition, that's quite a different thing. We need to meditate a lot to develop that.
다디네 니버디 미다제 동 먼저 수고디 동해와란 시리에서 봐. 동해란 시를 김전다 베제나 레뉴션 디테스 고등학교 당부 레야 가래 뉴모 그래서 차르로서. 다딜라 먼저 단다야 먼저 기겐단데 그때와딘데 시켜보려. 먼저 단대에 풍보디 동해 숙침보 요 말해서 들어. 동해 숙침보디 매번 인자 아니 동해 숙침보 매번 내가라 아니 수수 초월 가래. 아, 당할라 대화도 나 기부도라. 그래서는 동해 숙청보다 요는 아 기부민도 써야 돼요. 기부민도 써야 돼. 매디선 아, 당아 기부도 써야지. 근데 딜라 당아서 대화 진단 좀전 테레스티 에 더부터 가라.
So then the next one, when we talk about these being the nature of suffering, right, or suffering, then having said this, we need to first understand a little bit more about what is karma and delusion and why we say this, right? Because in our individual lives, we have times when, within these aggregates, we're not experiencing strong suffering. We're not experiencing strong suffering for a time, right? Our suffering becomes less, and so relatively, because our suffering is less, we think that this experience is happiness. Because relative to other situations, we're actually experiencing less suffering. And we think this lesser amount of suffering, we regard that as happiness. So this is a mistaken view.
제가 오늘에 대화 말해봐. 이거디 동해마 숙충으로 보셔라. 동해 숙충으로 채워서 어디 동해를 대라. 이나 먼저 동해디 대화 진세야 되다. 그주 거야디 빼야고도 알아.
So in reality, this isn't happiness, right? It's just a lesser type of suffering. So relatively, we think it's happiness. But if we really understood, the less suffering is still suffering. It's just we think we hold on to it as happiness because it's a lesser type of suffering. So it's important to actually understand this. It's very useful.
동해다 동해 동하다 숨바디 그래 동아래. 어디 변신이다 동하다. 변신이다 동하사 된거 다지롱하지니 동하더래. 다 강산다면 니와 작바식다 참문이와 단다디 뚝다 오메샤이시와. 가서 딱지롱하지니 동하 변신이 있어야 돼. 강산 풍불에 변신배 딱지롱하지니 동하서 되디 동하사들이. 이 딱다래부당 안소리와 강산 나셔야 돼. 풍불에 변신배 다지 요 말과 당 나셔야 돼와. 단다 힌두들 제기도 악말라야지 어디래나 먼저 풍불에 변신배 다 딱바와 나와 주어디 치료받을 때 그거였다데 근데 요 말에 대 오늘은 다 줍대서요래 저거라다
So then when we talk about these aggregates having a self, right? In reality, we say in this point that empty, but in this context, what empty of refers to here in this specific context means empty of other, literally translated would be empty of other meaning. Ton shimba tongwaya, empty of other meaning. But what this means, aggregates empty of other meaning. So these aggregates being empty of other meaning, what that means is being empty of being self-supporting, substantially exist. Permanent, unitary, and independent. So this.
어디 동화사도 어디.
Yeah, tak chig wrong one chin.
간다 디 힌두도야 그
Yeah,
다다 힌두
yeah,
힌두
lasa.
힌두.
So this permanent, unitary, or singular. Sometimes it's translated as singular. Cheg means one, so you could say unitary or singular. And independent. Rangwang Chen is under its own power, literally. Rangwang Chen, possessing its own power. This is to refute the Hindu views of like Atma, the Yeshu, the soul.
You sold the oreda, sold the tabo de ora.
So something like the Christian view of soul would be something similar in our context, right? This singular, independent, and permanent.
다디네 시와디 다음에 와서디 네 랑게드베 제기 다동아 인자 다음에 레서 쳇다.
So then the fourth one, this is selfless. So rather than being empty, it's selfless. Selfless is self-support, being free from being self-supported, substantially existent.
다 딜라야 디샤라 록조 시들랑저 되게 다 동해 덴베 록조 시는 풍부 미장와라 장와다와 풍부 먼저 풍부 르르디 미장외란 시레들 딜라 장와다 대화 마임발라 대화다 아니 딱와 마임발라 딱바다 다드투와 마임발라 다드투와 다와스다 또 진질로 시티르와다 한다 록슈 시티르와다.
So with that, this brings us to the four wrong views, right? So seeing that which is unclean as clean, seeing that which is suffering as happiness, seeing that which is impermanent as permanent, and seeing that which is selfless as possessing a self. So these are the...
다디 록슈 파즈 자단데라 슝수수당 둡다수수수 때때때 면다요 레스와 다디 랍데나 저런저 베제 헤드 나야냐가요 레스 다딜라 단다 캐루르 무신와 키데 캐루르 무신도 캐루르 무신 제르 무신 쇼네 쇼 유연도 쇼 유연
캐루르 무신 제르 무신이 게트로
캐루르 무신도 캐루르 무신이 덴데 송도 디나라 디야고 쇼도 당에 신다디 세단 담은데 지요 딜 셰모고 셰와 디 셰게메다 남대인 셰단 아니 두다스 텐주에 셰단 아니 데데데데면다요 다도 셰데나야 툭 데스 야마 툭크르와 파즈 툭크르다 데스 가고 라트야 데 가고 요래 델레 캐르르 무신 가르송어래라나 디야고다 냠내게 맞지 자운데 록슈 시디 난다 디바 추게 타고 캐주에 시들 미다 동에 동안 담이 시체 다디 시행으로 전화서 기승에 라인바 캐주 풍보들 미다 동에 동안 담이 시 캐주 시체 아야 디 하고서다 당보디 시대 하고 그랬어.
So when we look at these four wrong views, according to the various different philosophies or tenet systems that they all have a slightly different view. And to go into that in too much detail would be, this would be unproductive or might, even cause like you to have a headache or something like that because it gets very kind of technical. However, Kedra Rinpoche explained it. Kedra Rinpoche being the disciple of Lama Tsongkhapa, explained it very well according to the Prasangika. This is according to the Madhyamika Prasangika view, and its emphasis on like implementing it into practice, understanding it for the benefit of practice rather than in terms of just debate or intellectual exercise. But the first basis for understanding this is you need to understand the four things about the aggregates. So they're impermanent, they're selfless, they're suffering, and they're mitsangwaro.
캐주 디 간저 단다 디 풍보들라 자고다. 수수 당보 나야레 될 등에랑 알아 맞아. 녜 류르자. 류 캐주. 녜 류디 미다 동에 동안 담이 시레스다 디싱고레스는
So
example.
Yeah. Again, we're referring to this in terms of our aggregates. So you wouldn't say I am these things. You could say my body is impermanent, selfless, and nature of suffering and unclean. So it's referring to our aggregates.
다디 로슈식들 팀바 미장와라 장와 아니 다와 딱바다와 니 대와다와 장디 다다와 장와 대와 딱바 다도 따왔다. 록슈 시디레. 록바 시디레.
So from these, understanding that these are for actual aspects, this impermanent, selfless, suffering, unclean is the nature of what the aggregates exist. However, we have the wrong views of seeing them as clean, clean, that which is unclean as clean, that which is suffering as happiness, that which is in the nature of, well, that which is permanent as, that which is impermanent we view as permanent, and that which is selfless as having a self. So I'll just go over that again, seeing aggregates, the unclean aggregates, seeing them as clean, the aggregates which are suffering, seeing them as happiness, the aggregates which are impermanent, seeing them as permanent, and the aggregates which are selfless, seeing them as possessing a self. So that's the four wrong views.
풍부 미자와라 자와다 대화만 발라 대화다 저러 디 로저라 아니 풍부 아니 동야고 고미야치로 다디다다 로서 동야바디 아니 냠부술로 도거스나 니로 도거 풍부 미자와라 자와다야당 대화만 발라 대화다 록슈 로바니게 냠볼라 아니 직 냠부직이 배저 니를 뇌고로 디 자신의 야고도.
So when we then look at how do we develop the antidotes to these four wrong views, according to the advice of Kidra Rinpoche, the fact that they are seeing them as happy and clean can be done through meditating on the suffering nature of the aggregates. That as the dual antidote. Obviously it's the antidote to seeing them as happiness, meditating the suffering, but also seeing them as clean or pure might be a better translation. But seeing them as clean or pure also if we meditate on the suffering of them.
다들 줌젠 삼로다나 줌젠도 와라. 그래서나 풍부 미자와라 자와다야디 이도 오와 이도 뭐 이원게 남바다 용거래 봐. 아니 대화만 발라 대화다야디 이원게 남바시 따지 아니 따용디 풍부디 미도베란 신지 고미온디 장갈라 아니 니가 기념부 차야디 딘데스 도구 유서디 삼로단다야 고스도.
So why is this effective? Well, because we see the aggregates, the unclean aggregates, as clean due to attraction, finding them attractive, and also we see them as in the nature, we see them as happiness rather than suffering, again because of attraction to aggregates. So if we understand the suffering, then this stops us seeing them as being attractive or pleasant, and then because of that, this then becomes the antidote to both seeing them as clean and seeing them as happy. And then obviously meditating on the impermanence is the antidote to seeing the aggregates as permanent.
아니 다메니로 말 풍부랬다 동화다 다메니가라 디 가을 공부했으나 아니 풍부 다도 되거지 메진바데라 내려 거다 다다 되도다.
Okay.
로고 타마 로슈 타마데 다도 되거지 마들와 텔라 아니 숨바다 시베 동화 다메니가 다메 성장 다다 내려 거다데.
So the takchegrang원 첸타.
상매데 다도 되거지 마들 내려 거다 단지니요라 다지 락베락발네 타메 내려 다다자. Yeah, which do.
So then when we talk about the aggregates possessing self, then obviously we meditate on selflessness to deal with that. Or you could say we talked about the empty and the selfless before. There's many aspects to this selflessness, from more gross levels to more subtle levels. So then the various different meditations on emptiness or selflessness help you break down or become antidotes to the various gross or more subtle levels of this view of the aggregates possessing self.
다딜라 네가 곰데테 참나야 고여 튀기는 봐. 당보 아니 지 풍부 딱과 짐바 풍부 미장와 가도 다디 미장와라 장와다야 대화만이면 대화다야 간데 되거든 안데 로발라 네 풍부 미다 동해베란 신디 따윤디 동해바디 미 직패 풍부 동해와 마지바 아니 이도 모에 남바 동해와 로아 동해와 이도 모에 남바시 따윤디 동해란 시 따윤디 딜라데네 대화 마임발라 대화 진야다 미장와라 장와지야 저zo 라타 디르바타 저 저다 공구 요래 당보 좀 된대지 점블링라 최 당보 송해야 돼 동해 시월 차스 동해 그란시 시월에 동해 dembe cheju ranshi de 시월에 신야 될라네 풍미 자와라 자와다야 아니 다도 좋아하면 다도 좋다야 풍부 ranshi 미자와래서 풍부 ranshi 동해 월에서 풍부 ranshi 미다월에서 풍부 ranshi 다음에 월에서 어디 동해 시월 차스 시야 차들라 cheju 시월에 풍부디 미다과 임바 시와 풍부디 동해 ranshi 동해 ranshi 아니 지금 미자와 ranshi 동의회 ranshi 아니 다음에 ranshi 어떻게 되시고 봐. 당한저 뒤에 상로다에 대단 딱다 갑질로는 저거 당한데 상단단데 대단 게제 저거 열어. 이제 안은 안절 강해 온 거다. 먼저 풍부 미자와라 장와다가 열어. 대화 많이 벌 대화다가 열어. 딱와 많이 벌 딱와다가 열어. 다도 좋아 많이 벌 다도 좋다가 열어. 대왕게 안절라. 아니 차다 무슨 망고 계제 네 강에 돼야 다 되래다.
So it's good if we actually take the time, do some meditation on this. If we can start to understand that these aggregates understand rather than seeing them as clean, but actually start to understand they're unclean. Understand that they're not and happiness, that they're suffering. In this way we can break down or find them less attractive, break down the attractive appearance of these. So if we can meditate on these things, how the aggregates are unclean, suffering, impermanent, and selfless. This is very important. In fact, this is the first thing that Buddha taught. When he taught the truth of suffering, he taught this is the nature of our aggregates, to be unclean, suffering, impermanent, and selfless. So why is this so important? Well, because a lot of our difficulties, problems, sufferings, all of these comes about through holding these wrong views towards our aggregates. This is what causes us a great deal of difficulty and suffering in our lives.
제가 디레다 좀 데려와다. 다디 먼저 다 주내가 없어 그러다. 주내가라 진주로 시체. 아니 년보다 년보시디 군섭 진주로 시티를. 그러와. 디 년보라 미다동에 동안 담에 고미야 되게 되체. 그러와.
So this is talking about in terms of the cause. So we've looked at the cause, and we've also looked at the antidotes to the four conventional wrong views. So this is we've looked at those.
다 전당 로고 시디 되래. 풍부 미다과 데 다도 좋았지만 덴바토와 랑원에 좋았지만 동미다 동해와 데 네 덴바토와 짐바 다 동해 동안 담에 되게 체주 시디요라 체주 시군접 체주 시디게 데 랑원에 좋아 다윤데 아니 데 전담 로고 시고 시도 쓰시네 데 레라보도
Okay. 랑노네 도바 템바 도바.
이거는 직거래로
Okay.
땡겨요나.
So when we look at the final view of the four wrong views, in terms of ultimate existence, it's seeing these aggregates which are selfless and impermanent as things like existing from their own side. So it's to do with these more breaking down these more subtle understandings of how they're not existing from their own side and they're not truly existent and so forth.
다디 야고 셴바이나 아니 데브 나간다. 뭐 데브들라 컴남바다고 데브 넘버 시스 와도 어디 데브 시디 야고 하고 그래. 디 셴바이나 단다 풍고를 제주시 장대 다다 시라 로바 숙당다 니모도 단디 야고 셴바이나 아니 데브 남샤 시디 다다 야고 하고 그랬다.
So in the context of this text, it's very important to know these, because by knowing these four wrong views and these four antinodes and so forth, then you can understand what is the four results. So if we look at the results, this is page 103. We have four aspects to these results. So on page 103, it looks at these, but to order to understand these, you first need to have this basis of understanding the four obscurations and the four antidotes.
다디네 데부시디 자와데레 장다 대당 다니기 연된 파를 침베게 서와 자와데레다.
So the root is verse 1.34ab in this text. The perfection of the qualities of purity, self, bliss, and permanence is the result.
지난데 세보다다. 장와 다드 대와 딱바다와 니기 대다 친줄로 시디 냠보 시 공발라 때네 아니 연된 파르드 침바 파르드 침베 데비나바 시 풍부장와를 되베직 다드 다와들 되베직 대와라 대와는 되베고 딱바다도 다와라 딱바다베 디단 되베직 어다 방바 대단 되베고 똑바 대단 되베 똑바디 두세제 데비시 두용 레스타.
So we can see here the four of these: purity, or sometimes you could also say clean. The meaning is very similar or the same in this context. Self, happiness or bliss, as it's put here, and permanent. So for each of these four aspects, you have that wrong view and that which is to be abandoned, and then for each of the four, you have that which is to be realized or to be obtained. So you have these this relationship in terms of these four.
독스 데브드네 용그래다. 풍부 미장와라 장와 짐바 태와 아니 딱바야기 구직체 ngoni 구시체 아니 다 추구딜라야 아니 풍부 미장와 도베 아니 추구 다메다베 추구 미다과 도베 추구 아니 동반이 도베 추구 용으로와다고 추구딜레 데브드네 용으로와다 추구 안디단 태와딜라야 시샤쇼고라다고
So the
풍부
Sangwa Unity no Niku.
말에 풍부 미장와라 장와다 저러와 장와다 따와 대단 체베 태와저로 딜로
Yeah, the Trawa didn't know.
태와디 ngoni 우샤
Okay.
태와 또 꼭내로 꼭내 가서 다가는 녀모 딘지 방바 녀모 방바데로 딜
Right.
방바디 ngoni 그러다
No Niku. Any dini di chogushi.
추구시디 네 풍부 미다고도 다음에와도 봐 미다 동에 동화 다음에 미다 동에 동화 다음에 또 보다 또봐 추구시 용고요라
Mitakpa Tagme.
미다 동에 동화 다음에 미다 동에 동화 다음에 또봐 추구시요라다
Sangwa Mara.
다음 말에
Sangwa, okay.
제주시와
Lasa.
미다 동에 동화 다음에
So when we talk about the results of being separated from each of these wrong views, for example, we can say that this view of holding the aggregates to be clean, the separation from this, the complete freedom from this leads to the nature body of the Buddha. And then when we talk about the Dharma body of the Buddha, or the Dharmakaya, then there's four Dharmakayas for each of these, separating from each of these views. So the view of permanence, the view of self, the view that it's happy, and the view that it's clean. Then there's four Chogushir or Choguchecheshi. Okay, four Dharmakayas for each of these four, separated from each of these four wrong views.
답해진 디링데 샤샤나 야본스레 다 몽보 타부 차로다 딜라 저 디바시체 아니 다지 단다디 장데다다시체 미다동에 동아다미 시체 아니 데부시체 다디 시시시 전적하시도 하더니만
Okay, so yeah, so we'll stop here for today because it's quite complex and it's quite deep. However, it seems to be a day of fours because we've covered the four obscurations, the four wrong views, and then the four results. So, no, it's the 5th of May. It was nearly the 4th of May. Could have been.
there's a question.
May the fours be with you.
Question.
No.
Okay.
Oh, there's a few questions here. What is the difference between hero, solitary realizer, and tikas? So the nyenba, nyengi drachomba,
다좀 년도니
nyenta ni dini kibero ene de mutumba konzo sum kibakariyo.
간데스
So nyenta ni tang mitukpa di Hindu dawara.
무디 알레
Mitukpa
레레레
konzo di sum kibakariyo.
레레레 다데데요레 무디 발라데 네 데르와 가사다 건조 따와 딱지 라마진기 동에 딱지 라마진기 도 따와라 땡제 아니 직전고 보도야라 속바던데 용고여러다 봐 무디 바데라
Okay, so the first one, Thritikas, or Mitikpa in Tibetan, is these are the ones that hold a specific view towards the self. So it might be like often it's singular, unitary, and independent. And also these could hold to like a creator God. So these types of beings are what you call the Thritikas. So yeah.
레다 콘즈디 첼레디 조디 가와 펑고라스나 코알라 양자 제거다 코알라 양자 제거다 콘즈 다와데나나 도나 코와 제월레야 미시 요마르 코알레 테트웨 요마르다 겨와직들 제주 침보직
So what is from the Buddhist view, what's the problem with their viewpoint? Well, the problem with their viewpoint is that they still continually reborn in samsara. Right? So whatever they might attain, they still have to take rebirth within samsara.
다 랑루 년도당 랑제니디 년도스나 칼라오르스나 다 코와 빵두고요레와 라니지고 아니 코와라 코베 동에레 제제 아니 코와라 테베테베 시와 타둑디 토고요레 년도 다좀바데 년도도서 이나 데게 산제 고만 톱두고요 말다 멘다직 데와 산제 고만도 두고요 말에 라니지고 코베타 코와레 테베 타와델라 네두고요레다
So then when you look at the hearers and solitary realizers, these are what you could call, they say hero solitary realizer arhats, which basically it's attaining those beings that attain individual liberation. So the path that they're on doesn't lead them to Buddhahood. It leads them to they're liberated from samsara, but they don't attain full enlightenment. So you could say this nirvana is solitary nirvana is the state that
년도당 란제니기 켜바 가래래려나 군이 직바래 라니 지구 코알레 태바 되바디당 직바래와 이내 켜바 가래르스나 년토식도 년토세야디 아니 수수 람냠린 체야디게디 로몬 싱선에 수토와 예 수수 개베신이즈네 람냠네 지 코알레 퇴야가 람지 림바디게 예 렐하고 요마로 살람 졸람 통람 공람 토고로하고 이 람장으로 람장야디 로벤신 수토 예 암조 예 수수 시제 수수 냠린 세신이냐 밀파 셴 년토서라 아데르다 앙보 테스 앙보 두브레데 앙보 두브레 앙보 두브레 년도데 따 랑제디 딜라 앙보 넘버레 또 글로브존 지야데 로멘 신다즈네 수 녜와 당보 람 차상예 람 냠네 집에 내가라 녜게 말다 수수수 신나지래야 도저 수수수 곰잡 랑산제스로 당볼 람 냠네 그림바디 차상 롭종 녜 차상 체 다리기하고 다리 제사스나는 아니 다 신나지를 곰잡아도 김제 가르스나 곰제게 망보 녜베이나 아니 똑보다면 제제 본로 발제치 그랬어 람야고 제도 말했어 차상 고 옹고 때지 노와 송다 수수 상무당 롭전 제선ጆ 제매 수수 냠는 치토고였다. 네 개화되어다. 군인이지 옹보노도 개화라. 어찌데 년도에도 옹부 두베래. 란제데 옹부 딩레. 창주선바데 옹부 넘버래. 간상도지 옹부 두베데 년도체 옹부 딩데 란제체 옹부 넘버데 아니 창주선베 람냠네 진예스 도시제 옹부 넘딩도 좀 도시제 샤고르다. 개화직들에.
So when we then look at the difference between the hearers and the solitary realizers, they both have the same aim. Their focus is both to attain liberation from samsara for themselves. However, the way they go about it is quite different. So we talk about these hearers. Niento literally means to hear and then to like expound or basically to speak. So they listen and then they'll repeat or they'll teach others what they've learned. Basically repeat that they've learned. Now this is not an easy thing to do because they have to learn and study and then talk everything about the 5 paths. They have their own 5 paths. So even though it's not an easy path, these are said to be like the more dull faculty practitioners. Whereas the solitary realizers, they do things in a different way. Whereas they'll listen and get all the teachings, but once they've had these, they'll leave the community and go off on their own. So they won't stay in the community with their spiritual friend. They'll go off and basically meditate on their own, having first done all the preparation. The reason that they do this is because when you're meditating a lot, listening to a lot of other people, what they say can actually become an obstacle because you can get various different experiences. So having first prepared and studied well, once they've done that, then they'll basically go off by themselves and meditate. So this is why they're said to be solitary. And they're said to be of like medium faculties. So, and then the bodhisattvas, who of course attain enlightenment, full enlightenment, then they're said to be the beings of the sharper faculties. Okay. Can you clarify all the bodies? Rupakaya, Dharmakaya, nature body. Okay. So the Sangye Kushi, really.
Sanje Kushi la Chugusire, Chuju Kusa, the Sanje Jig, Semdire, Sanje Jig, Semdila Chugusire.
So first we have the Dharmakaya, or sometimes said the Dharma body of the Buddha. And this is the mind of the Buddha.
다들 오니 구세야데 네 산제 semgidingi chuni tongbanyi da ane shidip da pangba kok denjero odire.
Okay. Then we have the nature body or the Rupakaya of the Buddha. And this is said to be the abandonment of, or the tongmanyi tok or the emptiness of the mind of the Buddha. So or the truth of cessation, having abandoned all the faults, the truth of cessation of the Buddha. This is the nature body of the Buddha, or the Rupakaya. That's not Rupakaya? What's Rupakaya? Suku. So what's how do you try? I thought. So what's the Sanskrit for nature body? Then? I always thought it was Rupakaya, maybe. Oh, Swabhavakaya. Oh, okay.
And then next time you can make clear next time.
Okay, sorry, I'm not clear about this. I think I've made a mistake in the Sanskrit, which I've had for many years. Sorry. So Rupakaya apparently is not the nature body; it's the form body. We're not sure of the Sanskrit for the nature body.
Next week. Next week. For Buddha Shidi next week. Answer next week.
Okay. So we'll do that. It's the Sanskrit
lecture. This is your homework.
I'll get the Sanskrit words. Sorry, I've made a mistake in the Sanskrit apparently. So I'll check the Sanskrit words for the 4 bodies and get back to you on that. So we'll do that next week. Why is Dharmakaya called the truth body? Because it has realized the 2 truths.
Next week.
Dharmakaya is the truth. Okay. You had a question, Philippa?
You mentioned the 4 ultimate wrong views. You said the 4 conventional wrong views.
So we had the 4 conventional wrong views which we've discussed, but can we clarify the 4 ultimate wrong views? So Kirandi Konzab Loktashi and Tontam Loktashi. Tontam Loktashi Rere Karikari.
Ta Tonalog what is Mingishiora. 먼저 다 풍부들이셔 풍부입니다. 동해 동아 담에 여러와 이 단다데 풍부 니래다 풍부 단다디 미다 동해 동아사디 전신이 동아 따지랑지 동아체 담에사디 랑게드베 제지 동해 담에체
Good, color.
와
So,
당부시와 당기 등 당부시와
그래.
미다와체
yeah.
아니 풍부미다 동해와체 동아데 전신이 다 동아 따지랑지 동아체 랑게드베 제지 다 동아체 담에시체 디시디 레르네 아니 랑원을 주어지면 짐바들라 아니 디 탄다 메친지로 시르
So basically, when we talk about it's based on the object that we're looking at, or the base of these aggregates. So we said that they're impermanent, suffering, so empty and selfless, right? These are the four things that they are. So impermanent, suffering. So empty was independent, permanent and independent and unitary, being empty of that, and being selfless was self-supporting, substantial existence. So all of these, being lacking inherent existence or lacking true existence, that's the four ultimate wrong views, seeing these in that way. So the lokta di konzo tempa
konzo shi demba tuwa
right. So the wrong view would be that these four are existing from their own, inherently existent or truly existent or existing from their own sides. Like that would be the wrong view.
That finish. That is.
Is that everything? Questions finished? Homework?
Home relaxation. 다 homework di yago도 하단다. 규디. 규 ngodelaya ni cheju sumro shaso ngola. 아니 규delaya 가드레 유체 아니 되위체 규delaya 아니 시샤 말에 뭐바체 띵이딘체 셰랍체 닝지체와 예디체 아니 단다디 미다동에 동안다 군소빌라고시 터널로고시 안 되위시 어디게디 야고시나 야고르다
Okay.
어머디 야고르다
So the homework is to understand, like in looking at these causes, what are the four causes? I mean, if you look at the chart that everybody's got, it's all in there. Just with these four causes here, it's not faith in the Mahayana. We went over this last week, but in case anybody wasn't here, it's not faith in the Mahayana Dharma, it's devotion to the Mahayana Dharma. But the four causes that are there, then the four wrong views we talked about today, and Didrebushiro, and the four results. So learn these, try and learn and understand these things. Go over those.
아니 디네 다 데이터 데페진 디그리티 이게 야고 총나 디시 야고 셴나 야고라 아니 곰게 데이터 다레 심지란신 디 미다와 임바르바 한번 릭디 데스콤 수준 부던 내줘 여러 부던 내줘 데이터 아니 미다와 임바데 야고 시도 당보 부던 내줘 미다와 너무 당보 수수 미다와 수수 류 미다와 다 미다고 될라 미다고 락바 미다고 참모 세드네 요다 미다고 락바데 강바 직바 땅로땅 다 딘데기 또 미다고 락바 뜻이 미다고 참모디 게지 주어도데 다 곰데데스 미다고 데스 곰나 야고도
So for meditation, it's good to meditate on impermanence. If you want to understand your Buddha nature, then it's first important to understand impermanence and impermanence of your body and so forth. So when you look at impermanence, then there's two types. There's gross and there's subtle. So gross impermanence would be like a house falling down or lightning striking or something like that. So that's how we understand gross impermanence. Subtle impermanence is things changing moment by moment, every moment changing. So that's subtle impermanence. So if we can understand those for the meditation.
아니 베줄로야디 lawyer di da tande di one matic lo shan di
Di Drabu and Lay.
debu shi di debu che ani di chejul hama di je lo shan di ra da chejul hama namsha ju gi chejul hama shi hama da di yorwa
Oh, okay.
tamashi di da dare shi dal slow ma de zo de je de shi awo de je de shi ba che de je lawyer di da di de ba che shi da ma homo ma da na lo ma kan
So for reading, we'll be going over these 10 presentations in more detail next week. So you can read over them, but the reading is not the main thing because the main thing is to understand, learn or understand what we've covered already.
어디 얘디 카르카르도 마 섬나는 검접제 시에버시 삼려나
And to really reflect on it and meditate on it to try and get it clear in your mind.
어디셔
Okay, so we'll stop here.
사지 부이 중심에 도담 레라린시 닌데 임마 간제 진데 미데 어와이 도그는다 신라 주바라시 라마 가제라 딘신 난가 딘레 조주 제와 당 오산데베 드메사 드베 메세다도 네조지 버르르네 멘델라 감네 야다야미
Virtuous actions lie appropriate time and sight before we Buddha, and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May Supreme Joe one seated and there's not a rich in the rising world. Has arisen not to diminish, but increase more and more. Whereas the cycle of the teacher and man created, I thank how much offering acknowledging my faults, rejoicing in